Hey, Aki, great to
Hey,
have you here with us in our next episode of the Anoma Builder series. Yeah, it's really great that you're taking the time. Thanks for joining. We have you here representing the Mycel team, one of our ecosystem teams at Anoma. Before we jump into the questions,
Mhm.
I just wanted to take a minute to introduce myself, Anoma, and the program, and then we can start with myself. So, yeah, as I said, this is the second edition of the program. The first edition was with our friends from SwissDAO, and we here at Anoma provide a distributed operating system for intent-centric applications. And you guys at Mycel are one of these applications. So yeah, great to have you here. I'm Maurice. I'm one of the product slash ecosystem managers at Anoma. And yeah, so let's jump right in. We would love to know more about Mycel. If you could just like introduce yourself, introduce the team. Let's start with that.
Yeah, I appreciate you inviting me, Maurice. And I'm Maki, co-founder and protocol designer slash developer at Mycel. So at Mycel, we are developing two protocols. So one is a account transfer protocol, which is a new approach that treats digital account as a transfer object. So this means it allows entire portfolio of assets like tokens, NFTs, DeFi positions, credentials to be moved as a ununified entity rather than handling individual assets separately. So this is a account transfer protocol. So another thing is I'm working on the privacy counterparty discovery protocol. I call it price curve auctions. This system is like that uh, a system that enables the trader to find matchmaking counterparties without exposing positions and trading strategies or the account which has assets. So this means protecting them from the front running and the other form of market manipulations. So that's ours. Yeah.
Awesome. And lately, I've seen a lot of news coming from you guys on the timeline. Can you tell us a bit more about the latest developments?
Yeah, so actually we just launched the first version of account transfer protocol, which builds on top of internet computer, so which is a distributed system and which has a threshold signing scheme. So you can try with so this repo. So you can try the account transfer protocol with recent release. So this is right now, and in the in few months, we're gonna launch first example implementation of the exchange. So you can trade any kind of chain, but first is Ethereum between the Ethereum and Solana. So you can exchange asset between the Ethereum and the Solana using account transfer protocol. So after releasing DEX, we're gonna working on the privacy counterparty discovery protocol system with account transfer protocol. So you can exchange your asset in private way in using our protocol.
I think it's super cool that you guys have worked on this MVP and that you have actually put this out there already, so that people can take a look. If we take a step back, I mean, you have already mentioned a few unique selling points, like actually sending funds from Ethereum to Solana, which is a big problem today. And if you guys can make this easier, obviously this is a great selling point. But maybe we take it a step further back and talk about what kinds of fundamental problems you guys are solving. Could you walk me through some of the problems you see in the space right now and how Mycel is tackling those?
So for the account transfer protocol, so we have some problems we faced. I think so current asset transfer between the different consensus blockchain like state machine, so which use a messaging protocol, so like inter-op-tech. So you need to verify the state of the source chain and destination chain, right? But our approach is like a little bit different way. So we focus in the on the account on the state machine. So you can first idea came from the what happens if the swap the ownership of the account between between the different consensus blockchains. So this enables the we don't need to modify the state machine. So you just prepare the one account management protocol. So I think it's first ideas came from. So current asset transfer method between the different consensus blockchains. So I think there is one is mainly on the messaging protocol, and the one is I think is not famous, but it's very useful. Right? It's called atomic swap, which is a really cool idea. Like you don't have to rely on the smart contract or messaging protocol. So it's like you don't have to rely on third party. So, but it's atomic swap has one problem. It's like atomic swap depends on the specific crypto curves and or token standards, and so it's limiting cross-chain compatibility. So we want to solve that. So instead of the depends on the specific crypto curves, we have a threshold signing network for the asset holdings. Then this network supports multiple cryptographic curves, so you don't have to rely on the specific cryptographic specific crypto curves. So
and can you explain some of the properties or some of the benefits that are inherent to atomic swaps? What are atomic swaps?
So first, you need to create a multi-sig account between you and the counterparty. So then it's very simple explanation, but it's more easy. It makes it more easy to understand. So you deposit a multi-sig account, your asset to the multi-sig account, then also counterparty deposit their asset to the multi-sig account. Then we need to deploy the contract that both parties deposit asset. Then this contract releasing the asset to the opposite person. Our approach is make this asset lock mechanism more generalized way. So we have a threshold signing network, and we have a state management system that you can manage the state of the account state. So we separate the state and signature management system, so you can you don't have to depends on the specific cryptographic curves on top. Yeah.
I think this idea is really what I found so beautifully simple when we first talked a couple months ago, which is just instead of doing all of this hassle with sending around transactions, especially with under different trust assumptions between blockchains, you just take two accounts and you essentially exchange the private key, right?
So in other words, you can so if you want to send asset, you can just exchange your private key safely. So it's more good experience. Yeah, it was mine was different.
No, I just really found this simple idea so I found it so beautiful because I before you guys pitched this to me, and I just never thought about just switch the private key. And of course, under the hood, it's more complicated because then you need to make sure that you cannot just take the private key and somehow get claim ownership of both funds. And it's getting more complex under the hood. But this thought of just transferring the account is so simple and nice. So if we switch gears, and of course, if we're talking about the intent-centric application ecosystem, we would love to know more about how intents relate to the simple idea of account ownership transfer. So could you maybe walk us through how intents help you guys solve the problem, and how it perhaps provides benefits to the user experience?
So I think it's the most attractive benefit is like you don't have to update a grower state on each step of each process between in sense of the matchmaking, in those words, counterparty discovery. So without intents, you need to if you wanted to swap the asset, or you wanted to find the counterparty, you create order as a transactions, and you need to deposit the other transactions, and so you need to verify the order with the transactions. So you have to make a lot of transactions. This makes so people say that crypto is difficult because of the you need to create transaction yourself. So, but with intent, so if you create order, then deposit asset, it's the same way, but you don't have to update the global state because you just make a transaction after counterparty discovered. So this is the curious things. So also for the cost efficiency and user experience, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And in this concrete example of you find a counterparty first for the transfer of the account, are there any additional benefits? Because I could imagine that, yeah, you don't want to sort of give away too much information about the account, right?
Also, we were focusing on privacy. This is optional, but it's, I think, really important for the asset transferring if we don't know you. So I think it's really important for us, for the users also. So I asked the traders or institutional traders, and the people says they don't want to expose their positions because of usually on in sense of blockchain. So our position is like in default, or positions or their account is like public, right? So if you trade like even in the $10 one per transaction, you have to expose your whole account. Like if you have a 1 million, then oh yeah, this account has a 1 million. So in the order book protocol. So this is a problem to the trade, and yeah, and also there's a problem. It's a very famous problem is MEV. So people trying to do front running of the traders. So this is second, and I think there's one more problem in the price manipulation. So let's say the one guy who has a lot of tons of Ethereum, like 1,000 ETH or something, then he wanted get ETH more. Then so in this case, he tried to put selling ETH at the lower price than market. So people think, oh, this is a selling pressure. So I don't want to take a risk. So I want to sell my ETH. Then who wanted to buy ETH more cheaper? So people so this guy cancels the order and then buy ETH from the market more cheaper price. This is a price manipulation. So this is a huge problem in trading, right? I guess.
That's actually a very interesting topic. I haven't thought so much about, but yeah, you gave a great overview of all the benefits, and I really hope that people start talking more about these specific vectors, like how are intents related to MEV and what can we actually improve with intents in this area, which is, yeah, we could probably spend the whole rest.
So I think it's a privacy people talking about privacy as a privacy from the human rights, right? But this is really important because privacy is a human rights, and privacy should be default or something. But at the same time, from the market perspective, so privacy is like privacy makes I feel privacy makes market more efficient at the same time. So yeah.
I think this is a cool line of argument that more privacy people should listen to, because yeah, there could be a real dollar value you can assign to privacy that goes way beyond this sort of more idealistic properties of privacy. That's actually that's a great point. I wanted to talk a bit about a whole different topic. I know you guys are sort of in the Anoma ecosystem, sort of Anoma friends and family for a long time. But I wanted to ask you if you could give us a quick rundown of the arguments you guys considered when you decided, okay, we want to build with Anoma. Yeah, what convinced you of building with Anoma, and then maybe a second question: how are you actually? What parts of Anoma are you leveraging for your own project?
So I think it's a coolest feature is like it's a little bit different from the privacy perspective, but I'm actually I'm working on researching distributed system while from my university. So I really love peer-to-peer network implementation, like kind of things. So I felt Anoma is like so. Anoma itself distributed operating systems, right? So I felt it's so in the crypto, like blockchain ecosystem, is like people working on the state machine as and also virtual machine on top of it for like Ethereum smart contracts written in 3D and Solana contract and ICP canister. But this developer experience is like building application like on the embedded systems. so I used to work on the embedded system. So in embedded system, you need to care about machines and memories, and also the bytecode some stuff and architecture set or some like architecture set. So, but this is not for the all developers, I guess. So if you have a try to build application or web application and native application, you don't have to care about memory or CPU, right? Like you don't have to care about driver of that to use a Bluetooth or NFC, right? You just call API from the library. So, but if you implement smart contract on blockchain, you need to care the bytecode or so these days it's better than before, but it's still building application from the lower level. Even you build social applications. So it's kind of old school development process. But if you, so in modern application, you don't have to care about driver or you don't have to care the device hardware requirements because of you have OS, right? So if you run Linux or Mac OS or Windows, you don't have to care the hardware specific requirements. So this is cool things. So Anoma is like the same. It's kind of same portion with the operating system like Linux or something. So you don't have to care about Ethereum state machine specific requirements because you guys are working on the abstraction from the specific state machine from Ethereum. So you're working on the Ethereum protocol adapter, right? So this is in the sense of developer experience, is really cool things. You don't have to care about machines or global state machines, and from Anoma, from your development.
Right. I mean, yeah, this is this is a perfect description of some of the Anoma affordances, we sometimes refer to them. It's really what you first mentioned as sort of the benefits of how intents help systems, plus this more zoomed out perspective of building an operating system to abstract some of these, almost hardware level thoughts that application developers just shouldn't really care about these days. But sometimes they still have to.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to, but if you sometimes you need to take a look inside of what's happened in the hardware, but usually don't. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And so, given all of these sort of aspects of the Anoma system and the Mycel system, maybe you can specifically point out again where the Anoma project helps you guys, and where our affordances help you. I would assume probably around counterparty discovery and some of those topics.
Yeah. So we have a account transfer protocol, so you can transfer your account as which has a asset, your assets, right? But so still, I need to implement the counterparty discovery protocol to find the counterparty. But so in this case, so I'm looking for the peer-to-peer network that. So if you see the account as an object, so you can. So I'm looking for the peer-to-peer network that you can trade or swap the object. So Anoma is, I think, is perfect architecture for the trading, swapping the object between the different counterparty. So we utilize Anoma as a counterparty discovery mainly. So, but also, I think it's one more curious thing is like you can define the network messages between the node in Anomas. Usually, blockchain, you cannot implement message between the nodes, right? So it's just a big one computer. So you don't have to specify the message in between in the big computer. So in our case, we need to implement some specific message between nodes because we use a threshold signing scheme and also the encryption. So it's a perfect point. What I'm looking for. Yeah.
That sounds great. As a last question for you today, more of a general question about your view on technology in general. I think that's always a great one to end. And you have a very unique background, right? Also from computer science. So I wanted to ask what gets you excited about the future of technology, maybe the future of blockchain, but not necessarily limited to that.
It's a really good question. So personally, I'm interested in the technologies that you can process your data in your device and you can communicate with people in decentralized or a distributed way. I want to work on the protocol so you can process your data in locally, and you can communicate with your data, but it's encrypted.
Awesome. If people want to reach you or the Mycel project, where can they go?
So as a project, we have an official X account, which is at Mycel. And if you want to reach me, you can find the X at Rumitoast.
Awesome. Then, yeah, thank you very much for joining again. To the people who are watching our builder session, yeah, thank you very much for watching.
Yeah.
And I'm very much looking forward to seeing more of the product demos and seeing account transfers come to life on Ethereum, Solana, and other chains. Cool. Thank you very much, Aki.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.